Peace, light, and love, my YouTube family. It is your man, J-Pharaoh, back again. I'm going to do a read with the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck, as well as Maji got the T's, the Chosen Ones, 144 Oracle deck. So let's get into the vibes. I'm glad you're here to check in. Stay tuned. Let's see what comes in us. See what happens. So wishing everyone a pleasant, peaceful, healthy, light-filled moment here and now. And I pray that our days are blessed by the Most High to be for our highest and greatest goods. Absolutely. Absolutely. The scripture I like all the time is, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." This is a beautiful sage and lavender stick. This is one of the lavender ones. It's got lavender right there. That's really cool. So we're just saging it up here. Sage and lavender, baby. Let's get it in real good. All right, get it in real good. Whew. All right. All right, baby. All right. Let's go ahead and put that right there. And let's see what we get. Let's start with, let's do the tarot and then do clarification with the oracle. So, I will be using the book that goes with this. There are reversals in there. I'm going to take them. Actually, because I'm going to take everything in the upright. I'm taking everything in the upright. Everything in the upright. So, a lot of times, I find that it makes a very accurate storyline to take the reversals. Like if you're coming out of a situation, the card, if you're coming out of something, that card being reversed can indicate a time when you're coming out of like anxiety, coming out of hardship, the same hardships that you had before. So maybe it's something I'm kind of feeling already is we're in a time as a collective, we're coming out of times where, there were different struggles. Our lives right now, our struggles are not the same struggles we had 5 years ago. Those are not, not a lot of those pressing ones, a lot of the themes of our lives are still the themes of our lives, right? As being anointed by God, we, have certain themes of our lives, like being challenged, and, the way people react to us, the things we see, the things we hear, the things we know, what comes with having abilities. So I'm working on my shuffle. I've always been that guy, like when we go play cards and stuff, if I'm with groups of people, and they be like, "You don't play." I play cards, I like cards, but no one has actually been with. I'm usually by myself, so I don't be playing cards with anybody. So when I get into groups, I'm like, no, that's not something people who be by themselves might do. There we go. Real nice and easy like that. And this card is upright, and we're going to take it. 10 of Swords. We got the Emperor card. And we have the Ace of Cups. Let me show you these cards. The 10 of Swords. There. So you got 10 in the air. So this deck doesn't have all the exact Rider-Waite equivalents. It's based out of African, a lot of African deity, African cultures. Like here is the book that goes with it. Sorry, watch your ears. I do hit bells at times. So the Emperor card, written out Emperor there on the side. The local card here. Very interesting looking card. Mm-hmm. Then we got the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, baby. And this one says, Aida Huedo. It's very interesting. So, if anyone has been familiar with me, you know that I've been learning tarot, learning oracle, and decided to share my journey with you all as I go along. And I'm not going to be like judgmental and harsh on myself and be like, maybe I should be, anywhere other than where I am right now. I think that's another message, that we are right where we're supposed to be. And for us to trust that and know that it may not seem that way, right? And, they can feel like there's so much obscurity and there's so much resistance to us living our best lives, us living in our true, authentic energy, right? Whether it's coming from circumstances, coming from family member, coming from people, All right, so the 10 of Swords. So it's air. There we go. Azaka is this card. It reads, succumbing before the onslaught of inevitable forces, perseverance against great odds, success at great price. So it almost feels like like I was speaking of this adversity that, we were once experiencing, and, that right now in this moment, there are elements of resistance or, energies of, perhaps, many of us have shifted in some facet of ourselves, and maybe we are, shifting, and things around us are, providing that resistance. It's kind of like, in the universe, whenever you're making changes or that level, shifts, you advance, or you come into a different sense of yourself, a higher sense of yourself. There's the energy of resistance, right? It comes to mind how people say how things are toughest right before the breakthrough, before the miracle manifests. They at times often, people experience some level of trial or tribulation, So that's what I'm getting here. But it says that success at great price. So yeah, we've had to work and toil and go through so much mentally and physically and spiritually to have reached where we are now in those challenges that we were having. So maybe, if you're like me, 5 years ago was quite an interesting time in life. So maybe for some people that's 7, that's 10, it's 2 years ago, something like that. Some door ago, some chapter or so, or 2-3 chapters ago, depending on how you organize your life and your mind, right? But anyways, I can really go on tangents. If you're like me, there was a time ago that may feel like a lifetime ago, because you were a different person and you were going through things. You might not in the moment didn't realize the level of perhaps spiritual warfare you were in, but you were King Kong battling some mighty spiritual entities and spiritual forces. And in that, a lot of us, that's how we came to learn more about ourselves. And a lot of things that we experience, right? People they wouldn't believe it unless they were tuned into that frequency, unless their consciousness was that high. Because otherwise, there's no way someone will be able to discern what it is that you speak of. A lot of things can only be understood through experience, right? And that's okay for, there are different levels of energies on this planet, so many. So we all here on planet Earth, but we're living in different energies, different worlds. Okay. So let's go to the next card, Emperor. The Emperor card. Let's see what this one is talking about. This card indicates protection, ambition, victory, strife, conquest, war. What an amazing card to come out. Such a befitting card. Such a befitting card for us right now in our lives, and how the collective, we feel these things, right? We may not always understand completely, but there is a level of protection that we sense. That we understand that the victory is ultimately ours, because that's by faith. We believe that God has assured us victory in our lifetimes, in our purpose. And I know that because we do actually believe that God has this anointing, God has his purpose, this power within us, that when things don't go in alignment with God's magical way of supporting us, and things don't go as we expect God to manifest for us, we get a little confused by it. If things aren't going in a way that is very visible that God is working for us to discern, we get a little confused. Like, God, I know you got this already worked out for me, so what's this challenge I'm feeling? This struggle. Of course, we know things come with work, and we are no strangers to challenge and struggle. Don't get us effed up. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to go there. What's known is known and shit. We ain't gotta explain that shit. You know. You're no fucking stranger to that shit. And right now, we are living where there's a lot of ambition, great ambition, and a lot of times we're working and dancing to a rhythm that others are very perplexed by. Saying, what drives him? What drives her? What's up? What makes them tick? Because they're definitely doing their own thing. They're definitely not concerned with what other people around them are trying to peer pressure them into, what belief to have, or how to dress themselves, or how to walk, or how to talk, or what they do in their lives is not based off of the same rhythm that it seems like many to most others are dancing to. That's how a lot of us, we get this mysterious title, and things of that nature. So yeah, right now we are in our emperor bags, and we feel that, within ourselves, this empress quality, because we have the masculine and the feminine. So take it how it resonates. Uh, you know, so we feel this within ourselves, and if you're like me, it's like God is going to work magical wonders. And so what your external is like right now, is very illusionary. It's not the true nature of what God is going to do for you, and what God's already done for you and within you. And the third card from this one was 16:03 on the clock. The Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, baby. This card points to pleasure and happiness, okay? I said pleasure and happiness. I like this card already. The influence is that of the Great Mother, who creates freely through the subtle pressure of the waters. Shout out to all the water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Shout out to us. Hey, you heard it. Now, pleasure and happiness. And those are two of my most favorite things about being a human. The fact that I get to feel pleasure and the fact that I get to be happy. A lot of times I say I just want to be happy, because really what comes with making me happy is, I'm healthy, things are going well. I got a lot of strong Capricorn as well, so I'm always wanting to succeed in some way or something, somehow. I like that. Every second of existence, I want to know what it is that I am doing or just did or I'm about to do to achieve success at something. I might wipe a table off, and that'll help me feel better. But of course, I want to do things like moving mountains and saving my people, and being a strong force and saving my people. Speaking of that, look at Spirit going. All right, go. This is a book by a Black Panther member by the name of Jaleel A. Montekim, brother Jaleel, and I met him through an initiative to support a political prisoner by the name of Shaka Shakur. So please do, you got time. We're 18:18 on the clock. Check out Brother Shaka Shakur's story. These people who are Black Panthers, or those who were considered to be a threat as a African American civil rights activists, they were given this title of being terrorists to the nation, and to the label, because Black Panthers were labeled as terrorists, and they were put into maximum security prisons that really are designed to psychologically kill a person. There are things known about the human mind psychology that, if you put a human in certain circumstances or conditions, like if you literally put a human in something like, let's say, a bathroom for 10, 20 years, and they never leave that bathroom. When they leave 20 years later, the person who was stuck in that space, like a bathroom, literally, if you're watching this, you don't know, and you haven't been in that, and like I haven't been in that, we have absolutely no idea what it really is like. We can hear that shit. Our brains cannot fathom. So the person is put into a bathroom, like a space, a small bathroom, where you can just turn around and circle a little bit for 20 years. When the person who's inside that space is not the person who went into that space. A lot of times people will do stuff like bang their heads against the wall, or if they ever get a chance to walk out, they'll go and from one side of like a gym space and run all the way like across the other side of like a gym space and run directly, put their head down and run into the wall to kill themselves because they're living like that. Anyways, we must do something about that. Check out Brother Jaleel and his book. His book's called We Are Our Own Liberators. That's right, we are our own liberators. Let's look forward to the pleasure and happiness. God knows I know that I am worthy and deserving of pleasure and happiness. And I'm like, it's my pleasure and I want it now. It's my happiness and I want it now. All right. Let's do some clarification with the Oracle deck. Shall we? Let's just talk about crystals. So, if you know, a lot of you may notice how a lot of celebrities are talking about crystals and stuff now, and how crystals are, you know, like a trend. Which you know they've always been fucking amazing, right? Since Earth been made, crystals have been the bomb diggity. I'm wearing labradorite. This moment, I actually think I had happened to put quite a few in my pocket. I was doing something. Labradorite. What's else, Michelle? No, I'm not quite sure what this one is. This one used to say believe, but it's cool. It's like really shiny on the inside. Shiny on the inside. And I got this one in a mystery bag from a magical spirit shop in a popular city near me. And so I think it's jade. That's what it looks like to me. Isn't it? You know, it's pretty cool to me. I like it. I've had it for a long time. It's interesting how I keep some crystals for so long and how some others things happen to them. So once I've had crystals for like 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, I'm like, wow, I still have this crystal. You know, I love pyrite, and I don't keep my pyrites. I love pyrite, and then I get it, and it's so cool looking, and then it's gone. I love obsidian. I love onyx. Check these crystals out. I should do videos on crystals. All right. I'm hearing, what do they do? So what do crystals do? So crystals are, you know, of the earth. So a lot of these elements, these crystals that we get, you know, they may literally be millions of years old in your hand. You know, even in those people who might align with biblical scripture, you know, it says the goodness of the Lord is in the earth. And even in the book of Joshua, when Joshua had led the 12 tribes of Israelites over the Jordan River, right? God had instructed Joshua to go and get 12 stones. And then, you know, I'm assuming they're a bunch bigger, but, you know, 12 stones and place them out like up front of where the 12 tribes had stationed themselves, so that it would symbolize their journey over it that they had just taken. You know, because the Jordan River had stopped, and the waters had ceased. They were halted, and the 12 tribes walked through. Which is amazing. And I always wonder, like, were the waters like in a distance? Not did they just kind of stop at the distance, or were the waters like vertical as they were walking through? And you imagine walking, you're taking your hand and rubbing it through the water, like a wall of water, a river, and you walking on the ground through the river, and then there goes this wall of water on both sides of you. That's the river. That's so cool. But anyways. All right, so let's go ahead and get this clarification, and we're gonna rock and roll here. All right, so we've got goddess energy. Very nice. We got emperor and goddess here. So, but we also, I was gonna take it like as a line, but then I'm hearing God say, no, okay, just read it. Say it how you want to say it. So God is energy, but especially through these times of trial and tribulation, we've embodied this God is energy, this emperor's energy, through these trials and tribulations that we had. So many people, like I know a lot of us, we have people who tell us, they notice how hard we work. They notice how we don't give up. And it's like these really miraculous stories that if people are watching us or observe us or happen to be, in our lives enough to know what kind of, what's some the outside looking in, even they say, wow, that person transforms. That person goes from, one situation, it may look like this person has a major trial, a major tribulation, a major challenge going on, a major obstacle that they got to get through, but that person gets through that obstacle, and not just one, time and time and time again, that person shows up for themselves. That person does not give up. Whether we walking or we driving a Bentley, we don't give up. We don't give up. So boom. And that says a lot. And that's how a lot of times people have no idea what we've gone through and how much we've gone through because, A, we don't look like it. A lot of times people look at us and they can't, there's no way they can see from the outside looking in, what the inside has been through. And everyone has trials and tribulations. And you say that, yes, but we know that by our life purpose, by our anointing, we face challenges that many literally could not survive through with their lives. We've gone the level of stuff that those with certain anointings from God we go through. We go through for our generations as generational curse breaker. We go through for our generations. We go through to break curses. We go through to shift the energy of our bloodline, to break shackles from our bloodline, from what happened to our ancestors from generation to generation. A lot of it halts with us. And that means battle. That means war. That means we go through shit. So whatever was that demon, that monster, that so many of your forefathers, foremothers had succumbed to, had suffered by, a lot of times means that what? We've got to face it. So let's think about it. What might have been those diseases, those practices that took so many of our bloodlines out? There's so many of our bloodline ancestors had, lost their livelihood to. They weren't a great man as they could have been because of a certain battle. Or she wasn't the greatest mother or person that she could have been because of the challenges that she faced. And so that for us means that we go up against that and we conquer that, and we gotta fight. How do you win a fight? Motherfucker, you fight. But the battle is not ours, it's God's, right? But that means that a lot of times that we do go through trials and tribulations, however it may be explained or broken down. The battle is God's. Yes, we know that. We believe that God always grants us the victory. The victory is assured, but motherfucker, we still have to fight. So, however that work out. And so many battles we don't have to fight. Come on now. So many times we see things happen, people falling like motherfucking leaves from out the sky, and we realize, oh shit, you was actually trying to come after me, try to get me, and God took you out, and I wasn't even paying attention to you. And it's like, oh look, you just fell flat out on the ground. Then you gotta put it together. Oh shit, you was gunning for me. God said you thought you was about to do something. Or then we see those people who we do know think that they could ever get through God to get to us. There's some people who actually have the audacity, have the spiritual sickness, the spiritual toxicity to think that they could get through God to get to us. And then we just say, look, for me, I watch them. I'd be like, oh, God is doing something. God is doing something. So I would say I should pay attention to the synchronicities that you may feel within this reading. With 31:27, 31:28, 31:29 on the clock, baby. So, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, and it makes me feel happy, man. I'm trying to get in the gym and get my body kind of more swollen, thicker, like this brother. Like, I don't mind a thicker, like, belly, body, you know what I'm saying? I just naturally, I'm trying, But anyways, pleasure and happiness, synchronicities. I love numerology, paying attention to those numbers, the 222, 333, 444, 555, 1111, baby, 1010. Don't know what these numbers mean? Go to Google, find how would you know which was a reputable, I would say go to Google, use your discernment, go through various posts, and look for the themes that you'll see, and you'll come across a whole rack of stuff on these numbers. 222 often means like you're headed in the right direction, you're doing the right thing. 333 often means like your ancestors, your ascended masters are around you. And also 444 is a very like success oriented number. Your ancestors being around you type of number. 555 indicates a lot of times there's some bigger change going on, and also magic. So for me, when I see fives, that's the one number that makes me most nervous. When I see fives, because it's like, is it change? A lot of times change can indicate challenge, but also that 5 can mean magic. You might magically come into some money, or magically come into something really cool, and 555 is involved with it. So 666 a lot of times is a number of alignment, of family, of things being in harmony. A lot of times people don't let the world's conditioning get you to. Don't let them get you to. 666 is not a bad number. It's an energy, and so you can take a banana and do something healthy with it, and you could take a banana and do something very toxic with it. How you use it. You can take your hand and do something very pleasurable with it, or you can take your hand and do something very painful with it. You dig? So, it says 1111, but also 777 is a big abundance number, lucky number. 888, big abundance, money overflowing. You living in the Taj Mahal, motherfucker, with the 888. 999, a lot of times like a spiritual things going on. It's like maybe some spiritual activity going on. Pay attention, peep into it. 1010, cycles completing. Coming to the end of something, about to start a new something. Maybe a level up is coming up after that. 1111, that's your angel numbers, your true purpose, your higher self. That's the beautiful number. That's your chosen one. Magic. That's your healing. That's your angels all around you and working for you, baby. That's you are elevating. You are a new divine royal version of yourself number, baby. Like I said, I can like the numbers. 3511 on the clock. Also, shout out to okay, 3511 on the clock. If you get it, you get it. Check out Maji Got the Tea on YouTube. This is her deck, The Chosen Ones 144 Oracle deck. She is on YouTube. Very famous on YouTube. Her name is Maji Got the Tea. If you somehow are seeing me, I'm going to believe that we all have our own collective, so yes. So maybe somebody might come across me that doesn't know who Maji is. And I think that's really cool. But Maji has been with me, or I've been with Maji, whatever, for so long and so early on in my journey that, just check her out. Maji Got the Tea. And she also has the website, and that website URL be changing. No shade, but I tell you, Maji's website name be changing. Last I can remember right now, it was majistea.com. But I would say go to her website. Go to her YouTube, Maji Got the Tea, and you will come across Maji. Shout out to her. I love you, Maji. If you see this, she's in New York. And I had asked Maji to go out to New York to meet her. And she told me a very nice answer, a very beautiful answer. But what I want is one-to-one. Let's go get some coffee. But of course, she doesn't know me. So why would she go agree to, But she is very psychic. So she probably knows that, everything that would happen, But anyways, peace, light, and love. Everybody, be blessed. I'm your man, J-Pharaoh. Until next time.